Welcome to TKT course by Teacher Teresa, Module 1, Part 1, Describing Language and Language Skills, Unit 8, Speaking. Contents. Introduction to speaking. What is speaking? Speaking is one of the 4 language skills, alongside listening, reading, and writing. Like writing, it is a productive skill, because it involves actively producing language, rather than just receiving it. Through speaking, we express thoughts, ideas, emotions, and information, using verbal communication. It is essential for effective interaction in everyday life, work, and academic settings. The dynamics of speaking. Speaking is a dynamic process that involves various subskills. Consider the following checklist. Which of these actions do we perform while speaking? Smile. Greet people. Plan what we will say. Pronounce words. Use intonation. Use word stress and sentence stress. Use grammar and vocabulary. Use language accurately. Paraphrase, that is, find other ways of saying things. Ask for and give clarification. Ask for and give explanations. Answer questions. Take part in conversations. Monitor and correct ourselves. Use an appropriate register. Start speaking when someone else stops. Take part in discussions. Tell stories. Ask for and give information. Interrupt other speakers. Hesitate. Engage the listeners. Maintain eye contact. Use facial expressions and gestures. Adjust speech volume. Rephrase for clarity. Include breaks in speech. Express emotions and attitudes. Use fillers. Example, like. Use transitions between ideas. Example, now, then, so, but. When we speak, we naturally do most of these things, but we don't always plan what to say, or use completely correct grammar and vocabulary. This is because we often speak without much time to think about every word we say. However, if we are giving a prepared speech or presentation, we can plan our words, and use language more accurately. Speaking subskills. Effective speaking requires various subskills, including accuracy, using correct grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and functions, to ensure the message is clear and understandable without confusion. Fluency, speaking naturally with minimal pauses or errors, to maintain a steady flow of conversation. Too much hesitation or stumbling disrupts the rhythm, causing the audience to lose interest or focus, making communication unclear, slow, and frustrating. Fluency also involves connected speech features, such as stress, intonation, and linking. Appropriacy, using the appropriate register, adjusting language, tone, and formality to fit the context, audience, and purpose, ensuring effective and respectful communication. Interactive strategies, using body language, conversational functions, turn-taking, and paraphrasing, to keep the audience engaged, and maintain meaningful communication. Producing different types of texts. creating various forms of communication, such as conversations, discussions, and presentations, based on the situation and purpose. Interactive strategies in speaking. Speaking is more than just producing correct sentences. It involves strategies that help engage listeners and ensure effective communication. Key interactive strategies include using body language, making eye contact, using facial expressions and gestures, and adjusting posture to reinforce meaning. Employing conversational functions, such as asking for opinions, example, how do you see it? Expressing agreement, example, you're absolutely right. Offering suggestions, example, how about? Clarifying meaning, example, what I mean is. Turn-taking, using verbal and nonverbal cues, such as pauses, gestures, and changes in tone, to signal when to start, continue, or end a conversation, or to invite others to participate, ensuring a smooth flow of conversation. Paraphrasing, restating ideas in different words, to make them clearer or easier to understand. For example, original, it's been a while since I saw her, but I heard she's thriving. Paraphrased, I haven't seen her in a long time, but I heard she's fine. Types of spoken texts. Speaking also involves dealing with different types of texts. Common types include conversations, discussions, presentations, phone calls, lectures, storytelling, giving directions, meetings, announcements. Each type requires different levels of formality, interaction, functions, vocabulary, and structure. For example, a casual conversation with a friend differs from a formal presentation at a conference. Key concepts and the language teaching classroom. Read these tips and mark the ones that matter most to you. Improving speaking skills requires regular practice in various aspects, such as pronunciation, connected speech, register, interactive strategies, interactive speaking, example, dialogues, discussions, debates, and speaking at length, example, speeches, stories, presentations. Speaking practice in many classrooms often includes controlled practice activities, where learners repeatedly use recently learned language. These activities, example, repetition, drills, and saying memorized expressions, aim to improve speaking accuracy by ensuring correct use of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. They can boost learners' confidence by providing opportunities to practice speaking correctly. However, they mainly focus on accuracy and don't provide much practice in fluency, interaction, or effective communication. Fluency activities allow learners to decide on the language they want to use. These activities include information gap activities, problem-solving tasks, discussions, role plays, debates, project work, picture description tasks, retelling stories, explaining concepts. In these activities, learners share new information with each other, improving fluency, interaction, communication, and interpersonal skills. Working in pairs or groups encourages more interaction among students, compared to situations where only one person talks to the teacher while others listen. In larger classes, or those unfamiliar with pair or group work, teachers should introduce these activities carefully, to ensure students understand their importance and use them effectively. During controlled practice exercises, teachers typically correct learners' mistakes immediately, as these tasks focus on accuracy. However, during fluency activities, immediate correction is not recommended, allowing learners to focus on communicating their message. Instead, the teacher can note learners' mistakes and discuss them with the class afterward. Since speaking is a complex skill, learners may need additional support before speaking confidently. This can include practicing essential vocabulary, organizing thoughts, practicing pronunciation, and completing tasks before speaking. Some experts suggest that dealing with language problems after a task, rather than before, increases learners' interest in language learning by helping them understand why learning language matters. For beginners and young learners, allowing a silent period at the beginning of the course can help them absorb and process new language before speaking confidently. Speaking lessons typically follow this structure. 1. Lead in. Introduce the lesson topic and new language. 2. Practice activities. Allow learners to practice using the new language, progressing from controlled to freer activities, or from freer to controlled activities, depending on class needs. 3. Post-task activities. Encourage free-speaking exercises related to the topic, and reinforce the language covered in the lesson. Lessons that focus on reading, listening, and integrated skills provide opportunities for speaking practice. They start by focusing on language elements, then work on comprehending the text, and afterward, engage in speaking tasks related to the topic. See Unit 16 and 17 for speaking activities, Unit 21 for planning lessons, and Units 29 and 32 for correcting speaking. Thank you.